want to do a little bit of protocol before we move on. Let me recognize the presence of a great man in our midst. The presence of a man who has taught us how to do politics in Idemili North and South. The presence of a dogged fighter. The presence of the timber and caliber of Idemili North and South politics. The presence of the Jagaban of politics in Idemili North and South. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to make welcome the one and only Ochiagha Idemili Tony Ifeanyichukwu Ibezi, PhD. Today his name is moving from Ochiagha Idemili to Ijele. I can give baptism that. Let me quickly recognize the presence of former members of the High Table, former members of the Anambra State House of Assembly here present, former executive chairmen here present. I'd like to particularly recognize the chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance in Idemili South, talking about Kizito Anodiefo. Put your hands together for him. I'd like to recognize the former chairman of Idemili North Abga, Ichie Ebu. Let me welcome Honorable Ifeanyichukwu Ebu, former member of the House of Assembly. Let me welcome former commissioner in Ebonyi State, our own brother, Professor Ifeanyi Ike. Let me welcome the man that was, in fact, unarguably the best executive chairman of our local government in Idemili North. Talking about none other than Chief Oke Moaro, Ike Abate. Let me recognize the presence of the former commissioner for information, Anambra State, talking about Dr. Tony Onyema, Ife Idemili. Let me also recognize the presence of an Indiche in Obosina. I'm talking about Barrister Emenike Webber, Opoliobosi. I'd like to recognize the presence of the latest doctor in the building, latest PhD, Barrister Uche Darlington. Okay. Let me recognize the presence of Igwe Gaboski, Igwe Pie Okoye. Igwe. Let me recognize the presence of the former deputy mayor in the building, former councillors in the building, serving councillors in the building. I see a few of them. I see Eminem, I see UK Council, I see a lot of them here. I want to recognize the presence of our brothers, all the stakeholders from Idemili North and Idemili South. I want to recognize the presence of the President General of Abatete, and I'm welcome for the President General. Let me also recognize the stakeholder women in our midst, because here gathered are stakeholders of Idemili North and South, APGA. APGA! Abga! Onyaga na wanye! I don't want to forget Chief Ezude and Arinze, our own brother in the building. I cannot forget our uncle. Overnight election, and I'm happy. I'm happy that you are here. Please put your hands together. Okay, great man in the Ibesi dynasty. Anytime I have election, I also recognize the men of the fourth estate of the Red. This morning we were shaken but not stirred. And I just want to have your ears. I want you to know that when you are dogged, when you are dynamic, when you are rugged, the gods will always be with you. If I remember reformers, today the declaration of the aspiration of Honorable Ifeanyi Ibezim has come to be. And ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, I'd like us to bring on stage the man. Okay. I'd like us to bring on stage